Yeah. I mean, Jake and I are fully behind your philosophy of that. Like, you have to start with the physical. Like,
Mm.
we live in bodies and they need to be cared for. And like what you experience in other parts of your body, your emotions, your mind, like most often that is a reflection of what's happening in your body until that body is cared for, right? Then what arises in those areas can be a little bit deeper and more expressive. And so that we wanted to really highlight that, and in a really functional way. Like, I cannot tell you, for our community, time is one of the most challenging factors. And so breaking it down into simple ways that you can still take care of your body. And then, oh, by the way, like, support your partner in doing the same so that you both have this capacity to feel and be well. And then, okay, what does that look like to then be active and in relationship with your family? So it's like, it's not just how do I take care of me, myself, and I, because the fact of the matter is, like, as a mother, like, I end up at the end of my list, more often than not. And it's something to work on.
Hmm.
It's an evolution. But the fact of the matter is, like, I have other people's needs who are incredibly important to me. So how do we do that work together in a meaningful way? There's been so many times where I've been on the sidelines of like my kids' games or in the bleachers at something and just felt like what a disconnect it is to see our children experience like intense athletics and like intense physical training, but then we're sitting and sitting and sitting, and like, what example does that provide? Like, I don't want my kids' example to be that they're expected to be fit and I don't have any expectations of any kind for myself, right? Like, I don't want that to be the model of what they think they want to become when they grow up. So there's a lot of layers to that physical piece. And then in the family space, like something as simple as, nutrition. Like nutrition, we can get so bogged down with all the I'm supposed to and I have to and it has to be this way and I need to do this. But like, if you break it down into the family space, it's like one of the most important things is, can we sit down to dinner together and actually be in conversation and community with each other? Because guess what? That environment itself actually promotes us making healthier, better choices.
Mm,
And so,
amazing.
how do we use these like really simple tools as a way of becoming together? And so that's just like in the mind, the body space. Like, then you go into the mind and, oh man, like things like, what language do I use when I'm around my children? Like, how do I speak? Does my language reflect positivity? Do I speak poorly of others? Like, there's so many ways that we're experiencing each other's mindsets
Hmm.
just inherently. And when I think about like our kids, like they're picking up so much programming from us. Like, there's so much possibility if we're willing to do the work internally. Oh, like their conditioning, their mindset, their fallback system already lands so much, at such a higher resolution, if we're able to, provide that example. So yeah,
Yeah,
lots
yeah.
of
So
layers of
right, lots. So
it.
we can go on for a long time with just that aspect. So vibrational energy, right? So the energy that you as a parent are giving off, the way the language that you use, your body language, your verbal language, they all matter.
Absolutely.
Um, and is this an inside out approach, do you think, or an outside in approach? Meaning, does the parent start with the kids in your total potential journey, or should they focus on themselves first and building those skill sets with themselves?
Yeah, I would say it's an inside out kind of a journey. I would say that there's the element in family where two parts. Number one, everything is right there. Like, you cannot hide from your junk in your family because it's all going to be present in an instant. So in that way, there's the outside can highlight the inside work that needs to happen, right? But there's always the component of like what's happening inside of me. Like, my experience outside of me is a reflection of what's happening inside.
inside.
And so we have to do that inside work. And because it's in relationship, I think there's a ton of exchange that happens as that work is unfolding, but it still has to start inside.